name is Rick Mavis, Certified Master Sales Consultant here at Shottenkirk Toyota. We're at 54th and Broadway, Quincy, Illinois. Today we get to look at a 2011 Yaris. Now, this one happens to be a four-door sedan. They make this in several different models. One is a three-door, which is 2 doors and a hatchback. They also make this in a four-door sedan like we're going to look at today, and they also make it in a 5-door hatchback. So we've got a lot of different configurations of this. All of them very economical, very dependable, reliable, and depending on your needs, very utilitarian. First of all, take a look at this car. Typical, Toyota good looks. Nothing fancy, but still a great little car. Underneath here, we've got lots of cool stuff. First of all, you'll notice that it's got a 1.5 liter 4-cylinder engine built on an aluminum block. It's got dual overhead cams. It's got variable valve timing, 16 valves in this little thing. It's basically 2 engines in one. With the variable valve timing, this engine will operate on a very economical scale, giving you the giving you the dependable type of performance that you're used to and economy out of this particular vehicle that you would come to expect from a Toyota. But when you kick it in the butt and this thing actually opens up the valves, the variable valve train actually opens up the variable valves and allows more air into the engine, more air and more fuel. It gives you a lot more power. So basically getting 2 engines in one, which is why this is the perfect engine for this particular car. Also, come on in, Will. We've got different like containers for your fluids. You'll notice that you don't have a power steering fluid because you have electric steering on this car, which makes the steering butter smooth. It also helps improve performance and fuel economy because it doesn't have a belt or a pump that's dragging the engine down, so it's kind of cool. You've also got, it's very neat and easy to maintain. Air filter under here, batteries up front, the fuse is right there. You can actually, I don't know if you can tell it, but you can actually see the oil filter down there, which is kind of cool because most of the time you can't even see that on a lot of other cars. One thing that might be difficult for you to see is there's pretty sure it's way back there, is your ABS control module. This little car, even though it's probably only $15,000 or so, still comes with a full array of all the safety equipment you've come to expect on every single Toyota, and that is the STAR safety system. It's actually what Toyota calls the accident avoidance technologies. For 2011, it actually has 6 points now instead of just 5. It comes with anti-lock brakes, brake assist, electronic brake force distribution, the traction control, stability programming, and now smart stop technology, all of which I can kind of go over at a later date. But that is standard equipment even on the small car that Toyota makes. Not to mention all of the other safety equipment, like what we call passive safety equipment, which protects you in an accident, the crumple zones, the side impact door beams, all of the airbags, of which there are 7 actually. So very safe car, whether you are in or out of an accident. So it's pretty cool. Yeah. Let's take a look at the rest of the car. So you walk around the side of this thing. It's hard to get really excited about a whole lot of features on this car. This one does have a power and a convenience package, but you can get it without. So if you like crank windows or manual locks, you can still do that with this car. Actually, you can probably get it with a manual transmission. So this car, as we're going to see here later, it has a few of the conveniences that we all come to know and love and kind of expect on our cars, but we also don't have to pay a whole lot for them, and it makes the car a huge value. As you can see, it's a very wide opening, easy to get in and out of, and still lots of room in this little car, as you will come to see on our test drive. A lot of stuff in here we're going to cover later on the test drive, so we'll save some of that for later. But I want to show you the back seat of this too. Now, I was extremely comfortable there in that seat. Now we'll show you I'll get it. As I get in here, the way the seat's designed and the way the car is set up, I'm still very, very comfortable in the back of this car. I may not want to drive 12 hours in it, but you know, 3 or 4 hour trip, no problem. I wouldn't have any problem riding in this car at all whatsoever. I don't know, it's kind of dark in here. I don't know if you can see really well, Will, but plenty of room for 4 or 5 passengers, absolutely. One cool thing I like too, I'll show you here real quick, because I need to open the trunk from here anyway, is this fuel door. It's kind of cool because, you know, I don't know, it can't cost but a couple bucks, but when you open up this fuel cap, rather than having it dangling down here damaging your paint, put a little cap holder there, and now it's up out of the way. You can fill your gas, and it's not actually causing any problems, you know, with the paint on the car. Like I say, once again, it's probably not a whole great big deal, but I think it's kind of cool. And of course, it's protected. You know, you can't get into it unless you have a key to the vehicle itself. Back here, you'll notice you've got a deck lid that swings way up out of the way, even for a small car. As you're getting into it, it's not going to be banging on your head. And if you look up here, it's padded so that it keeps a lot of the road noise out of the back of the car, thus keeping noise out of the passenger compartment. And it's got a glow-in-the-dark handle so that if for any reason anybody gets stuck in here, they can actually see that and pull that, and that will release the hatch so you can get out. So it's pretty much a great safety feature for small children. Nice low lift over area, nice little skid plate here, scuff pad to keep you from damaging the paint on the bumper when you're loading and unloading cargo. But you've also got a 60/40 split rear seat that folds down so that you can actually get larger and bigger cargo in here. But you've got a nice big wide opening, a very spacious area in the back here to handle a lot of your needs that you may have if you own this car and obviously had lots of cargo, which everybody does from time to time. Rear window defogger, kind of a nice feature to have too. I think pretty much at this point, well, we've gone over a lot of the features out here on this. I think it's time to go for a test drive and kind of give everybody an idea of exactly what kind of power this thing has for a small economy car. So let's do that. We'll go for a test drive. All right, here we go. My keyless entry, all-in-one key fob. We're going to put it right in there. Fire it up. Purrs like a kitten. And we're off. It's a little chilly out today. Blustery wind, which isn't going to help the test drive any, but I think you'll still be pretty, what's that word I want to use? Pretty impressed with how this works. First of all, let's talk, since I'm using this first, let's talk about the gated shifter. Well, gated shifters are not a fad. Pretty much every manufacturer uses a gated shifter now. Each corresponding gear is directly horizontal to actually where it's gated at. So obviously in park, I don't need to do anything to get it out of gear except put my foot on the brake. Once I apply the brake, now it's free to shift back. Well, also what I like about it is in years past, you had to squeeze something or grip something. And if I had a sore finger or hand or arm or elbow or something, it was hard for me to do that. So now, all you've got to do is push this to the right and pull it back. And that's all there is to it. That's reverse, neutral, and drive. So it's really easy for me because I know 3 clicks, boom, 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 and I'm in drive. If I'm over here, I'm actually in 3rd gear, which is not my overdrive gear, which will actually give me less fuel economy, but this is your overdrive gear. That's where you'll probably drive about 99% of the time. And you also have a redundant system up here on the console where you can see what gear you're in if you don't really know. So if you can't figure it out down here, there's that light up there that will help you. All right, let's take a ride.